welcome to the special Halloween edition of Behavioral Grooves, where Tim and I examine some cognitive biases that just might be a little bit more scary than they appear.
Unless they're ghost biases, Kurt.
Not following, Tim.
Well, you said that there might be more scary than they appear, but if they're ghost biases, they're invisible.
Oh, that was bad. Bad to the bone. Get it? Bad to the bone.
Oh, yeah, all right. Why didn't the vampire bite Taylor Swift, by the way?
What? I don't know. Why didn't the vampire bite Taylor Swift?
She had bad blood.
Vampire jokes. Okay. All right. I have a few vampire jokes myself, but they all suck.
Oh, snap. Okay, so what kind of monster is the best answer?
The hokey pokey monster?
The boogeyman.
Oh.
The boogeyman.
Okay. Why do ghosts make the best cheerleaders, Tim?
I don't know.
Because they have spirit.
Oh, God.
Yes, they do.
Oh,
they have spirit. How about you?
Okay, so why didn't the mummy have any friends?
God.
This is so psychological. It's perfect.
It is? This one was psychological. I don't know. They're dead.
He was too wrapped up in himself.
God.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right. I think that this episode is going to have a scary tale ending.
That's
bad pun.
That,
bad. All right, we just better end it there. We better
that's
end it there
verging
because it's only going to get worse.
Punishment. Yeah.
All right. We have to end these bad jokes. All right. Seriously, we're going to be talking about some biases that, if we think about them, they might just be kind of scary.
Yeah, actually, and it sounds like fun. Hopefully more fun than our jokes.
Well, that is an easy bar to cross right there. That's an easy bar to cross. So,
okay, all right. So where should we get started?
Well,
what do you think is the scariest bias of all?
So the scariest bias of all, in my opinion, is the bias that kind of interacts with everything that we do, and I think is the cause for much of the troubles in this world, which is the confirmation bias.
Yeah.
That's a scary bias.
Sorry, just didn't quite have the grip when you said confirmation bias. It didn't exactly send chills up my spine, but
it should, Tim. It should. Think about what the confirmation bias does. It filters the information that we get through this lens of our pre-held beliefs, so that if we hear contradictory ideas or facts, right? We're talking about conspiracy theories next month, and if we hear facts that are contrary to the beliefs that we hold, confirmation bias, our brains work against us, and they actually discount that information or actually ignore it. Or if they see something that confirms that belief, even if it's really tangential, they lob onto it, and man, it takes over. And so all of a sudden, we get down these rabbit holes of our beliefs, and we get so strung up in them that you can't break through. And so even if you have absolutely wonderful information and facts to counter somebody's wrong opinion or belief, you have to break through confirmation bias in order to do that. And think of all the horrible things that has done in just conspiracy theories, in the national debate on any topic that you want to talk about, because we become enamored within our own little tribal system, and the beliefs that we hold there just get reinforced. So
yeah.
All right, I labored on enough about that one.
Well, you did, but give me an example. Give me an example of when confirmation bias works against us.
So for instance, if we take the concept of global warming, right? And you have people who have heard or a belief system that for whatever reason that global warming is a hoax, right? And then they're presented with potential information that contradicts that belief that it's a hoax. And what happens? What happens to those people? Do they go, oh, aha, you have shown me the light, and here is the real, and so yes, global warming is real.
Yeah.
No, they stay in the darkness. They stay in that dark of Halloween night, and they kind of reinforce, because they search out things to reinforce their thing. That's motivated reasoning, but it's tied to confirmation bias, and they look at whatever you present to them, and they will find fault lines in those. And we talk a lot about this in the upcoming conspiracy theory month that we're going to be talking about. But so I think that for me is a really big piece of this.
It could also go, just taking your climate change example, that anybody who sees sort of a relatively mild day temperature wise, or a rainstorm that just sort of passes like a regular rainstorm, not a massive thunderstorm that blocks, takes out electricity for cities and states and things like that, then they just say, well, look, here's just normal climate. This is just regular stuff. So here's the confirmation I need. Yeah.
Here's a blizzard. Look, we got a blizzard in Minnesota. Of course it's not. There's no, look how cold it is here. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, absolutely. All right, Mr. Houlihan, Mr. Scary Tim Houlihan. What bias is scary for you?
I have to start by saying that confirmation bias was boo-tacular.
We are not going to do the jokes the entire time, are we? Anyway, all right. What
my scariest is the planning fallacy.
Ooh,
because it just bites me in the ass every day. Just every time that it's an optimism bias, right? That I keep thinking that it's not going to take, that I see a project and I think, okay, it's going to take this amount of time. It's going to take 4 weeks, for instance. Mm-hmm. And then say, okay, I know I've got the planning fallacy, so I'm going to add 2 weeks to that. And so I go back and I tell the client it's going to take 6 weeks. And then guess what? It takes 9 weeks. There's 9 weeks of work, but I told them 6 weeks. So now I have to pack it all in.
It has a double whammy on the back.
It feels that way. Yeah. So that's my worst one, when we have this natural tendency to be optimistic about getting things done, and just my mom used to say it really well. She said, you're trying to pack 10 pounds of day into a 5-pound bag.
I love these little quotes that you have. It's so fantastic. Yeah. But is there any positive aspect of the planning fallacy? I mean, think about, would we have ever started this podcast if we would have really understood the amount of time and energy and work that goes into it?
Oh my God.
I mean, we would have said, oh my crap. But of course, then we wouldn't have understood too. We wouldn't have really understood how much fun this podcast is.
Well, if you go back to when we released our very first podcast in, I think it was October actually of 2017.
Ooh, October.
Yeah.
Sorry.
that we thought, I remember having a discussion with you that we thought, okay, if we just do like once a month, that's a commitment that we can live with. Yeah. And then by January, we're like, screw that once a month thing. This has to be done weekly, or we're not gonna enjoy it at all, and we won't have.
We just have too many people that we want to talk to and have these great conversations with. That is. I get it. Planning fallacy can be scary just because the outcome. It's like, it's like when you watch those scary movies and you see the phone rings and there's the breathing on the other end, and then
there you go. Yeah.
And then, like they don't grab their keys then and leave and run out the door. It's like, no, get out of the damn house. What are you doing? But no, instead they're going, ooh, there's a door to the basement. Let's go open up and look down there. It's like, it's coming. It's like, it's staring you in the eye, but man, it's just,
Yeah, true. What's your next scariest of all the scary biases?
Well, there's a lot of scary biases out there, but one of them is the fundamental attribution error. Did you like how I said that?
Yeah, I did.
I did. Error.
You
coming
could
out of there.
audition for Star Wars with that voice.
Oh yeah, for what a Wookiee?
Yeah. Maybe not.
No, so I think the fundamental attribution error. So this error that we have of our tendency to blame people's personalities or dispositions when judging their negative behavior. So in other words, we see somebody cut us off on the road, we're driving, and we go, "Oh, that's an asshole," right?
Yeah.
That's just he's a jerk. I know it. He's a horrible person. He probably beats his dog and whatever else, right? But then if we were doing that same thing, we go, "Oh, I did it because, I was in a rush or I was not paying attention and I feel really bad about it." But there's always a situational or a contextual component, and it's not a bite of our own personality of who we are. And yet we tend to apply that to other people. And so it really creates this, you know, negative aura around others that shouldn't be there. We should have that uh, the openness to say, you know what, this wasn't necessarily because they're horrible, evil people. Although on Halloween, I'm not quite sure, but for the most part, they're not horrible, awful people. They deal with the same kind of contextual and situational factors that we do, and that drives a lot of their behavior. And yet, we don't always appreciate that.
Well, I want to do two things. I want to up the ante on fundamental attribution error in two ways. One is it's not just that the person that is driving faster is an asshole, but the person driving slower than you is an idiot. And so there's both are going at the same time. And the second thing that I wanted to mention about this attribution error is on Squid Games. And spoiler alert, I just want to just let if you just be careful because I'm going to just reveal the whole thing. No, what happens is that the survivors, and yes, there's a survivorship bias. Stop holding your ears, Kurt.
I haven't seen Squid Game yet. I don't want to know. Come on. All right, keep going.
There is a survivorship bias that comes out among those who get to the end. But the interesting thing is that those who get to the end of the game when others have failed, they start to believe that it's because of their skill. It's because of their tremendous ability in playing these games that they have won over and over and over again. When, as a viewer, you've seen that some of it's just damn luck.
A lot of it is damn luck, right?
Yeah,
and just life, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's a really good point, though. It's this idea that the attribution error also applies to that aspect of how successful we are in life and then how we view others who aren't. And that has a whole, the just world syndrome and all of those factors are coming into play with all of this kind of stuff. Again, scary biases, scary biases. All right, Mr. Houlihan, I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
Scary bias.
This is a really scary bias.
No, I don't know. How can it get any more scary than what we've talked about?
It's pretty scary. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Ah! Oh my God, that was scary.
And this is the Dunning-Kruger is fantastic. If you're not familiar with it, it's the one where people with low knowledge or ability overestimate their knowledge or capabilities in a particular situation. And this, boy, talk about biting you in the butt every day. This is a big one. And I know, Kurt, that this is one of your favorites.
Well, that's because I am the Dunning-Kruger effect in action, right? It's this idea that but seriously, it's a really good one. It is a scary bias because it's people don't understand. I mean, if people are not skilled at something, they think they're more skilled. And what the other piece of this is that those who are highly skilled in something underestimate their ability often. And so you get this double whammy, almost like the fast car and slow car that are, assholes and idiots. It's this, if you're highly knowledgeable in a topic area, you kind of downplay your knowledge because you know so much that there's all this other knowledge that's out there that you probably don't know because you've gotten all of that. Whereas if you only know a little bit, you make this assumption that, I know it all, and therefore I am genius, that is out there and the best in the world at this. And that has ramifications in a number of ways. And you can think of business, you can think of politics, you can think of, just the person down the road that you have that conversation with that starts going off on whatever it is, and you're going, I don't think that's really how that works. And they're confident in their answer, and they will
Yeah.
tell you to your face that, of course it is. That's exactly why water runs uphill. It's, So.
Well, whenever I get on my high horse, whenever I start to feel like I'm getting into that I'm an expert, I just ask myself this question: how does a toilet work? I can operate a toilet very successfully in lots of different countries. I can operate toilets very well. But to design a toilet, to actually explain how it works.
Oh, well,
No.
Tim, you don't understand. You see, it's the gravitational force of the water coming in the yeah. I know it's true. Right?
Yeah, the gravitational force of the water. Wow, I like where you were going there. That sounded good.
Hey, I can make up shit as well as anybody can. So, all right. So, do we want to do a few more bad Halloween jokes to just round out this whole
sure.
horrible episode?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was wondering, do you know why the ghost starched his sheets?
He was going to a formal. I don't know why.
He wanted everyone to be scared stiff.
Okay. When is it bad luck to be followed by a black cat?
I don't know when.
When you're a mouse.
Oh. So where does a ghost decide to go on vacation?
Oh God, I don't know. Where does a ghost go on vacation?
Malibu.
That was bad. Oh. All right. Last bad joke of the day. Why was the jack-o'-lantern afraid to cross the road?
Why was the jack-o'-lantern afraid to cross over? I don't know. Why?
He had no guts.
Oh. All right. Okay.
So
enough.
I think that's a wrap. Sorry, folks, if you had to, put
Grimace
up with all
your
of
way
our
through it.
bad jokes. There we go.
Yeah.
In conclusion, look, biases can be scary, but we don't need to be scared. We can actually, if we understand them, if we apply some of this behavioral science knowledge, hopefully it can help us overcome them. Not always, but hey, at least we understand our own tendency to fall to them and maybe be more aware and thus have a better life, a better job, a better world. And if we can do that, then hey, that's a better world for all of us. So with that, we appreciate you coming and listening. Hope you have a fantastic Halloween or whatever day it is that you're listening to this, and go out and have a groovy week.